gymnastics. As far as the wrestling did, what I did was I intimidated a lot of people. Because I didn't give a
big gold and a billfold.
In progress.
So
all right, we're recording. We're live.
Shit
Why need
closed.
to shut the
So
door
I'm
to the
running.
Lilas Studios or not?
No, I'll leave the door open.
Well, if I start cussing and
Look what we got going on over here, Rip.
oh hell, there's Ben Hamin. Look, he's Mr. Plug. Oh, I know it's making too much noise. You're going to say. Now I get my coat and you bitch about that. Then I got. Why didn't you open this up?
Hey, Rip, we have a guest on reading your book. You wanna
Well, he
acknowledge
got
that?
I remember when Thunderbolt Patterson was reading the Bible was upside down. And I said, bold, it's upside down. He goes, oh.
Well, his book's right side up. We got Ben Hamin with us today at
Well,
Lilas Studios.
He can't read English. He can't read English.
The-
What's that noise?
The leader of Hamin Media Group. I mean, you do so much stuff, man. I have the plugger of Rip Rogers Tees from ProWrestlingTee.com and Rip Rogers' book. He's putting a plug in, whatever that's called. What is that called, Rip?
I must owe him some money.
Rip must owe you some money. What's up, man? Oh, he's got his own intro music.
Yeah, it's like,
man.
it's like she going, hey, Ron, number one.
Yes, that's right, infidels. We're back here. Invasion at Lilas Studios, Hustler Rip Rogers show. The one true Saladin, the Sons of Rip, united, and we're gonna tear it down, infidels. I don't care if it's a Killer Cross, if it's an Aaron Stevens, that infidel Mike Mondo. The real stars have arrived. Yo, Law, it's time to break it down. Chop them down with Big Von Daddy and the Hustler Rip Rogers. Yo,
Give me a $10. You know, he raised his slapping you in the face from $5 to $10 because of inflation.
Did he really? Wow.
Yeah. Shit, the asshole probably be going $20 next week.
Did you hear that intro, Rip? We don't do anything like that on this show.
Well, he prepares. We don't prepare.
You've got to start doing that. That's your job, to do that big intro. Like, that was
I can't
awesome,
remember
man.
that. And I can't read it. I can't read your writing. My eyes don't work that good anyway. Hell, I can't see. I can't hear.
Are we really on one of your shows right now?
No, man. I just got the roadcaster here and just doing my thing, dude. Try and pop the boys, man.
Is that thing you were trying to sell me on the other day? The Roadcaster, right?
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible piece of equipment, man. For the $600 it costs for professional podcasters, like what you can do is have an entire radio studio right at home with everything you want, drops and sound bites, and take phone calls directly, so it sounds as clear as a microphone. It's pretty incredible piece of equipment that really would have cost $20,000 back in the day, but now you can get them for $600. It's a game changer.
Rip, you got $600? Okay, can we be done with the thing? You eat, you got your food in.
Wait a minute.
I mean, we just had the legendary Scott Romer in the studio for our episode 18. He just left, man. He said he couldn't stick around for the interview. So what's up, man? How's it going?
Yeah, it's nonstop grind and hustle, man. Just like it says on the shirt, you gotta be a hustler out here in this digital media game. It's ever changing, and I'm just excited to be, where I'm at right now, earning a living from it, and doing my indies still when I can, and getting to do some booking and spread Hustler's legacy around, whether it's the psychology I learned from him or the improv lessons that I learned, and really trying to influence the business where I can. Working with Vince Russo on channelattitude.com has been awesome. Just getting to podcast with one of the guys who had a huge influence on me as a fan, and just come up with great creative ideas with him and Stevie Richards. And it's just been a crazy, wild ride for the last 5 years building Hamin Media Group. And man, it's 7 days a week, 100 hours.
You ain't a foreigner. You lost your accent. What the hell did you do?
This is the character, moron. That's the CIA cover. Why are you trying to stooge me off? This is the real.
I am a stooge. You could say, oh, you're the brony stooge. You're on number one. I got $1.95 on me, so I'm $598.05. A little bit fucking short of that $600.
You need we can get some $5 face slaps going, and we'll raise.
No, yours are 10. Don't kayfabe me. You raise them to 10. You try to kayfabe me, you're gonna pocket half the goddamn money.
That's right.
So on this show, I really don't have a script. Look, I got a fan.
I've watched them all. I love them. I love what you guys are doing. I told Hustler, man, it's a very Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau relationship, and I think it's one of my favorite things because I know you both, and it just helps me escape to go back to the old times, man. I like.
Well, we just had Scott Romer, like I said, in here too, and he's he's more Rip's age. I'm much younger than Rip. And
hell, everybody's much younger than me.
If you wanted to see like a grumpier old men combination, you got to watch episode 18 because those two are something.
My fanny pack's broke, and all the zippers are like.
But what I do like to do on here is I ask a lot of firsts. That's kind of my thing because it intrigues me. Because I know for me getting into wrestling and being in wrestling since I was a little kid, I knew Rip when I was 4 years old, whenever it was. Yeah. I still remember my first day that I showed up at like wrestling training and my first match and my first this and that. When people get signed, I like to go over that because I never got signed. So I want to know, how it happened and kind of get behind the scenes on that. I met you at OVW. I have no idea what year it was. I'm terrible with years. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when did you get to OVW?
I started visiting in 2005, but I moved there 2006.
That's when it was. So did you have training before that? Did you go to any wrestling schools before that?
No, I came from Chicago and doing 6 years of training and performing professionally improv there at Second City and at Improv Olympic and other theaters like the Playground Theater. So it's very almost without taking the bumps,
right?
It's identical to cutting your teeth and having. Chicago's the mecca for comedy. So if you wanted to book shows and you were trained and over enough, and you'd gone through the training and you were on teams, you could work 5-6 nights a week and be out there performing and sharpening your craft and getting laughs, man. But I was always a mega wrestling fan, and I had gone to some WrestleManias and to One Night Stand, second one at the Hammerstein Ballroom. And I was like, I just wanted to bring improv to wrestling because I knew it would take it to the next level in my mind of what I could bring. Nobody had those 2 sets of skills, and I had to go learn it, all over again. I was like, do I really want to do that, or am I going to try and get on Saturday Night Live and get my HBO show and shit like that? Because it's, same as wrestling. There's 80 spots, 10,000 people trying to get 80 spots, comedy or that. That's where it's a lot like it. But I called in OVW after doing some research, and Rip called me back off of a message I had left, and I'm sure Danny passed me off to Rip to be like, here's a guy who's non-contract who wants to possibly come train. And I met Rip, halfway from Chicago and Indiana, and we rode down and
really?
Some shows. Yeah. That was like when Atlas to Bone and those guys were kind of first getting there, and
so contract was still there then.
Oh yeah, man. Contract, all that Six Flags stuff was still going on, and it was serious politics. Mike Krul and those guys were on top. Cody Ryback, Spirit Squad had just kind of gone up on the road, but we're still living there, and and Dinsmore was on the road too. And right when Santino got signed, that was probably like, or got the call to go become Santino. I know you guys just recorded with him. So yeah. That was like crazy because I'd kind of been there for 3 months before that. And it was just like, wow, how fast it can go from not signing, you're doing the Russian gimmick, to can you speak Italian?
Yeah.
And you're the Intercontinental Champion. Like, for non-contract guys, that was like, whoa, wow.
Yeah, that was one hell of a story. Like you said, he was just on this show, and man, you'll watch it, I'm sure, but he was down and out, man. Like, he was down to no money and borrowing money from his mom, and got the call, and it was awesome. It was a great story that he had told. So I do want to definitely get to the meeting Rip and writing down, but I still want to back up. Was there ever a choice between, I know eventually you said you wanted to bring improv into wrestling, but before you got into that and the Saturday Night Live dream, was there a choice like, man, wrestling or this, or did you know improv was always first?
Because you make no money in improv really until you get signed by NBC for a developmental deal or Comedy Central. Like these are all the people that I came up with who are doing great work on, their HBO shows, the Righteous Gemstones. Tim Baltz is a guy who I came up with who's just doing phenomenal work. Most of the guys on Silicon Valley, Thomas Middleditch, who now probably makes $3 million every time he does a T-Mobile commercial. Like,
oh wow! So
you grind and like Rip used to say, boys, this is the best time of your fucking life. Like it ain't gonna be when you're making your money and all the bullshit. It's now when you love this shit and you're in the trenches. That's really what Improv Olympic and Second City and those theaters were. And it was just so authentic. I mean, it's the same stages that Chris Farley, Mike Myers, Tina Fey, Rachel Dratch, like they're all, that's all the same alumni. When you go down the wall of pictures, you're next. Same as when you're in OVW and you see all those pictures. It's identical to that. So it felt very familiar. And I know all it was going to take was hard work to do what I needed to try and do, you know what I mean? And Rip gave me the opportunity, but yeah, in Chicago, sorry, I kind of got off topic that way.
Yeah, you answered questions about like Rip does. You didn't answer it at all.
Yeah. Sorry, your original question. I
got a guest on here and you start insulting him. In the meantime, you throw your 2 cents in, just like your goddamn dad. That's number one, cussing. About
to the king.
You can't shut the fuck up.
I didn't say anything. He just talked for 5 minutes, but he didn't answer my question. So I was like, "Hey, you're gonna answer?"
What an asshole!
I just wondered if there was ever like a choice.
You're just an asshole.
Yeah, it was after that one night stand of like, because I haven't missed a week of wrestling since I was 8 years old when my dad took me and Andre stood right next to us, bro. Like, done, just done, So it was like I always kind of was like, oh, I could be the next Vince Russo and take my writing and improv skills and build them better characters who can work on the fly and listen to each other. Because sometimes they touch on improv stuff, but they wouldn't understand it, how it really came together. And I felt like I'm a student of the game no matter what. And I chose wrestling instead of, and it's tough for a lot of people where you're like, oh, would I have made it? I would have had to move to LA or maybe New York City, which would have been fine. But then you're in a whole different ball club in the comedy world. You know what I mean? So maybe I would have made it there. Maybe I wouldn't have. It's the exact same thing. There's 80 spots and 10,000 really great performers trying to get those spots.
Yeah, I guess what I was saying, did you ever think about getting into wrestling first? Because you were in improv, you said 6 years. Did you ever think about
man, I was doing improv in college.
Okay, you already.
Yeah. We had a show that it was so cool. Like the school now helps sponsor it as we're coming up on the 25-year anniversary. I can't believe that, of the show this year, Random Acts. But out of that show, a lot of famous people out of a state school, SUNY Fredonia, where we all support each other, have gotten shots. Like, the one dude, Nice Peter from Epic Rap Battles of History, was the #2 guy on YouTube. And like, that's my dude who I moved to Chicago. The guy who started the show is on Chicago Fire right now. One of the other girls manages people on Saturday Night Live. For a small state school, we all supported each other. That show's still going on. But there's this theater downtown in Fredonia, and it seats 500 people, beautiful theater, 1800s. And they gave it to us in a Saturday Night Live midnight spot. And every 4 weeks, we would sell that bitch out, 500 seats in a small college town, bro. And we were just putting on fun shows, knowing what we were doing, what was funny in college blue humor. But when some of them went to Chicago to do the Improv Olympic Intensive and brought that back, that like opened the floodgates for a bunch of us to migrate out there and support each other. I did that for 6 years, came to that line in the sand and was like, fuck it. And I'm a wrestling addict. I got to go try this shit. I felt something pulling me towards it, man,
So let's get to the meeting with Rip. So instead of going to your first time, you met Rip like an indie and went with him. Is that what you're saying? Yep. Did you do any kind of research? By that, I mean, Google Rip to see did you know anything about Rip before you got in the car with him?
I remember him from WCW matches, but like,
come on, Rip, picking at your head and ear and stuff. We're on TV and you're over here like picking at shit.
That's
You're
nothing.
picking at fucking me.
God,
fuck you, asshole.
We're on live TV.
I know that.
We're gonna have at least 200 and like people watch this thing, maybe even more with his big media group out there. We might have thousands of people watch this one. You gotta look good on here.
Huh?
You gotta look good on here. You're on camera.
Oh, well, Hamin had the floor, and I'm just listening to what he says.
Yeah, I can run my fucking mouth all day.
Yeah,
long.
keep going, man. We love that because we don't know what to say. So the more you talk, the better. I just want Rip to look.
You don't do no research.
Yeah, but I'm getting there. I'm getting to where you're meeting.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I'm going to ask you about it here in a second.
So. Well, hell, I can't fucking remember.
You can too.
Now you're telling me what I can remember.
Well, sure, you can.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you saw him on matches.
He put heat on me the first minute. I actually was so excited driving from Chicago to Indy. Like, he had it clocked from wherever it was, and I had gotten to the rest area quicker, and I called him to see because I didn't really know what he was going to look like or what car I was looking for. And he's like, Jesus Christ. He goes, you shouldn't. He goes, how fast were you driving down there? He was afraid I was going to get a ticket and that they bust people because he I don't know. He just didn't want heat on himself, so he put it back on me. And he got there like 10 minutes after that. And I followed him down too. We didn't ride down together, but that was one of the first times I was going to practice and sitting there watching. And I'll never forget, you were there, and I was just like, the smell of OVW, what practice smells like, the locker room, you were taping up your ankles and just like, now it's my fucking time, as opposed to like when I was just visiting and kind of like going to the shows and being in the stands. Like, this is my first time getting to go to practice and shit. So, it was intimidating for sure, because I come from the stock of athletes, and lumberjacks and blue collar guys, and I got the size, but I'm an actor, bro. I've been an actor since I was 12. I played football, and I grew up around larger than life lumberjacks on the pro circuit, but I hadn't done this shit, in improv. Stage combat all happens in slow motion. So you don't fucking really whale some stupid actor in the face on stage, because we're not trained to call anything. So to start doing real physical rolling without trying to hurt anybody, thankfully Twinkle Toes was there to make me look a little bit athletic. But yeah, dude, Mason Rage, like, there's real men here who are fucking laying it down, and initiation by chops and all that kind of shit, and getting blown up and go puke in the corner, and everyone's watching. You're going to kick out and come back, and that shows the work ethic. And I was taught you're never going to tell somebody that you might be directing or above that you're not going to jump in the hole and dig with them. I'm not going to look down on you and be like, do what I want you to do. So that was the proving ground of, am I going to, be able to gut this out, I guess. So your first day in, did you participate in practice, or did you sit and watch? No, I sat and watched, bro.
Did you?
Yeah. And that, because I had to go get all the basic shit, your baby's first knee pads, and
so were you in somebody else's class, like a beginner class, or
I came right into Rips.
Now, did you guys have a discussion on I think you went there because you wanted to be a writer, but didn't Rip then? Did you say you got to go through all the other shit too, or?
Fuck, fine. I can't remember.
Yeah, he did, and I wanted to. I did like that.
Oh, you did want to?
Yeah, dude. I wasn't just gonna like come in. I remember not that I got heat at TV. I just really don't give a fuck, because I've been beyond being starstruck, because at Improv Olympic I met so many movie people that it's I'm not worried about what the wrestlers gonna think. So I would photocopy things from improv books, and people like Katie Lee Burchell and other people were receptive, where other people were like, look at this fucking mark. I'm like, okay, dude, if you don't want help. But then the Major Brothers came to me, and we got to sit down to do the fake edge thing. You know what I mean? Like, people want help to try and get over. I'm a paintbrush. Let's create some art together. Or do you want to sit on your ego and hope that the stars align for you because you're a political scumbag? Like, you can have it either way if you want to. I'm not going to waste my time chasing you,
So what was it like for you, your first actual practice? Like, when you first started taking bumps and back, I remember my neck hurt so bad for 6 days. I thought I'm never going back. And then by day 7, because I was going to Dinsmore's once a week, I was like, I think I can do it. I think I can go back. How was your first day?
I got bit by the ropes first 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, big badass fucking bruise all the way across here because I didn't turn my back the whole way, and I'm trepidatious about turning, and it feels weird, and I don't know timing and rhythms, and I'm thinking I'm, over, and I'm not over at all.
Mine was always my tailbone on those ropes at the new arena, man. It just hit me. Oh, it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
All the time.
So, I mean, he wouldn't let me do anything to really it's not asking how I did. It's Adam Revolver having to carry my big fat ass around. And, because that's what Rip would do. You're going to get put with power. He's going to sweat all over you. It's super gross. He's going to blow you up. Pin drills, like, you just stand there. I'll fucking do it. You fall backwards slowly, you fat fucker. And then go puke in the garbage can and then switch next, do it again. So he would keep it as simple, stupid as possible, and Power's not going to put himself in a position to get hurt, so like it was as basic step by step as can be. And I run my mouth, as you guys can see, so I'm going to be a manager. That's what it is. We're doing amateur shows, you're selling tickets. You want to learn how to promote. You want to learn how to be a top guy. You're going to get out there, talk to some fat women, talk to whoever you need to talk to, and you're going to sell these fucking tickets, you lazy cocksucker. So if you want to be on the show, then you got to show you want to be on it. And we need to increase our audience. So go do it.
You remember your first show or first match, or first managerial role, or?
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting in the crowd for OVW because there wasn't even a DCW at this point. It was amateur shows, and we're trying to be seat fillers and get chants going or whatever we're asked to do. And Rip goes, "Oh, I got two fucking packies over there, Ali and Khalil. And look at you. You can do character. You look like a packy with your fucking beard. You're their manager. And that's you guys will be on the next amateur show. Sell fucking tickets." And at that same time, bro, like, it's post 9/11, 5 years after that. So we're in war with Iraq, and they're just saying insurgency on Fox News constantly. So we're the motherfucking insurgency. Gas prices go from $2.25 over the next 2 years to $4.25. All I got to do is come out and go, "I'll raise your gas prices if you don't bow before Allah, morons." Next week they go up a dime. I told you, get out of my country, and fucking Khalil, shoot psycho, who I'm glad he's on my team. Right. And Ali, analytical and smart as they come, these guys just look great, and phenomenal tag team wrestlers. Here comes Turk from Toronto, and we need a muscle. It was just like, maybe as the atheist, but as Allah wills it, he's sending us people. And then we mix in Serena, who's half Pakistani as well. And she never really got to play heel. So that was a freedom of creative for her to try something different, for as much as she was loved as a babyface for so long. So it was just an awesome experience to be surrounded by those great performers and be able to get heat on the mic for them till we got to some payoff, like the Six Flags match with Rob Conway. And really that's who I got to thank more than anybody is Conway and Pat Buck. The Rob Conway came back from WWE, could have been a bitter prick. Instead, he took a bunch of kids, showed us how to form a tag team division and do things the right way, and did business for us.
Conway.
Yeah, the con man, dude. I owe con man a lot, dude. And you said, did I go to anybody else's class? And I didn't want to think like I was over, because I look back and regret now not going to Nick Dinsmore's class. I look at Shiloh's education and I go, he fucking did it right. Joey Mercury, Matt Capitelli, and Dinsmore, while he's going to Rips. I in my own mind had, I'd done so much at IO, and I'm trying to do all this, I should have even worked harder and gone to Nick Dinsmore's class to not have that firsthand knowledge, even though it's Rip's knowledge through Nick. I shorted myself. So, in that process, I regret that.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, I did his at the old building in Jeffersonville. It was Saturday. That was it. Every Saturday. I remember my first day, there was like 60 people there in that old building. I mean, it was just, it was crazy. And there was
crazy. It was like 40 people when I got there.
Yeah. And there was like 6 that came in with me, and none of them came back. I was the only one that went back. But then Rip moved me his class, but it's still the contract guys. I mean, I was way out of place, but I think Rip just needed a ride to practice probably. So
Probably.
he let me in that class. Holy shit. That was
Shit, you got to have the time of your life.
yeah. Yeah, it was
No, but I mean, you know, before, it's important to me, and I've said this to other people, when, you know, my mentors especially, you can get sappy or be a mark if you want to, but I'm coming up on the 10th year of losing my best friend, and it's on my mind. But to tell your mentors how much you appreciate them for the opportunity, regardless if I had to pay for my lessons, like, the opportunity was much bigger than any dollar amount, Rip, that you've ever that you could have given me, performance wise, education wise, that I've then turned into my business in this niche wrestling crazy world that we're all a part of, dude. So I just want to say thank you for not just the entertainment you provide and the lessons and the mentorship, but the opportunity of letting me write and direct, and really giving me that foundation of the outlet to cross over the improv art into it, whether it was directing a promo class or whatever. But I just want to say thank you, dude, and I love you for it.
Go River.
I act like I'm over, huh? No, all I did was, you guys had a fucking dream. So everybody's got a dream, but how many are willing to work for it? And when you're there, take advantage of everything that you can, of connecting with all these guys in the class, becoming buddies with them, because somewhere down the line, some are going to make it, some aren't. But you still got those memories where you can latch onto something and maybe a success in the wrestling business or something else from meeting these people.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
you just don't know that when you start, and you can't. I just remember that I always told you, this is going to be the greatest time of your life, no matter what. You could have $10 million, but this is going to be the greatest time of your life, because I know it is for everybody. So me, I went through so many people. Hell, I can't remember names. I can't remember faces. And then people remind me, but that was like when I ran into Ole Anderson, he couldn't remember my name. He said, I recognize. And I said, well, Ole, I ran towns for you. He said, well, I can't remember you. I said, well, I understand that now. I can't remember shit.
Yeah, but we're fortunate to have those memories lost, because we've built so many, whether it's performances or glimpses of our career and things like that. And I got to kind of live it twice, because living in that real down and dirty jazz club feeling that Chicago was, like performing night after night and training, 2-3 days a week, and being with my team to work on our skills together, the same as I was working with our tag team to do that, and everyone trying to get over. It was the labor of love that, built it. And then fortunately for me, after I left OVW for like a year, I came back to New York, and 2CW, which I consider the greatest independent promotion of all time, was in, like, I wasn't aware of them. And I was there to get something signed for my buddy's wedding. Terry Funk was on the show. They recognized me from my OVW work, asked me, hey, what are you doing out here standing with the marks? You want to come in? I was like, I can't stay to see the show. I just came to get the sign. They took it right in and got it signed for me. But they go, hey, we got Sergeant Slaughter and Hacksaw coming in 3 months. You want to work them? I go, fuck yeah, let's go, man.
That's
so
awesome.
that was 2012. And I brought Ali and Khalil up, and we had Jason Wayne in the crowd, who jumped out of the crowd because it was in Watertown, New York, and Rome, New York, which are two military-based towns in small cities in upstate New York. And, you got these two iconic Patriot guys, and it's still pretty red hot coming off the wars. So right away, I got my foot in the door there, and that was Brody Lee, rest in peace, Brody Lee's last show, leaving 2CW. So I got to be there with him as he went on to WWE. And then from there, I had a 3-year run to work with everybody from Piper to Tracy Smothers, Dick Justice, and have long-term programs one after another where I'd work local guys and help make them, or get to work with legendary WWE stars who can't really do anything, where I can bump and feed for them and we can do character stuff, So it was an awesome career of not making it to WWE with great moments, man, and getting to book my own business kind of all along the way, dude.
Is that promotion no longer then?
So 2CW, we went out of business in 2015. We went out on top. We just had a 5-year reunion show.
I thought, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was a huge show, but people like Kevin Steen got made there. He thinks he considers his first, championship there to be his first real world title. The Young Bucks would have been next to, like, AEW might not exist without 2CW. Like, that's how over it was at getting all that Bullet Club shit done, and telling those stories. Sammy Callahan, one after another. So all those guys show huge respect to 2CW. And I was, sometimes I'd be, popcorn match, but I'd build my stories till we got to the main event. And I was in the biggest draw in 2CW history, drawing 1,700 at Elmira Arena with Hacksaw and those guys paying it off. So
that's awesome.
It was an awesome ride with those dudes, and they really respected my mind, I think, because I would help book and agent other segments as well, which without DCW that never would have happened.
Hey, how much time you got today?
As long as you can go, man. It doesn't matter.
We only have about 5 minutes on here.
Yeah, if you want to send another.
So I was thinking about just sending another one. I've got about 3 things I want to get to.
We're way under the fucking cocksucker fucking swear count too, by the way. We got some complaints on YouTube. So Rip's been on his best behavior today. So oh shit. You guys already got kicked off TikTok, so fuck China.
Yeah, we've already been kicked off TikTok. But we got about 4 minutes on this one. If it runs out, if we don't get to everything, I'll just send you a new link, and we won't go 40 again, but I got a couple more questions. Might as well I kind of wanted to go back. You said Rip gave you an opportunity. How long were you there when OVW pulled out? WWE pulled out.
That was 2008, right?
I don't know.
It was 2007, 2008. So I had probably been there 9 months to a year. I got there the same day Anthony Bravado got there and started practice. We started the same day. And we were both from Syracuse, which was funny enough, the area, you know what I mean?
But DCW hadn't started yet, right?
Oh, we were still doing amateur shows, bro.
But then DCW was there when Developmental was there, because I remember them like watching some of our shows and shit, like in the back.
Yeah.
So I know DCW was there then. When did Rip then kind of turn DCW over, like you and Power and you guys kind of took the ball?
Show 22.
Oh, I was going to say
episode 22 of 72.
How did that come? How did that come about? How did that come about?
When Rip would go, who's paid dues? Da da da. Yeah, fuck you. No, you're not on the show. Get fucked. You owe me $40. So he would then see who paid dues, and he'd make his matches. And always Khalil and Ali and I was important to make sure we were paid up so we wouldn't fuck up our business, because we knew that was where we were going to start getting our ride going. When we obviously some guys just don't have it that week, but we made sure we did. So we could be consistent, and Rip wanted to do a envelope, which was like scholarship money. It was a good rib, but fucking the fact that he likes to make heels your champs first. We were the top heels, obviously, at the time on these amateur shows, where they were doing a little bit of Team America stuff later on, but we were still getting killed by Chet the Jet and Aaron Stevens. Like if they needed somebody on house shows, in Campbellsville or some shit. So like it was kind of a little bit established, but so Rip would make the cards, but he was teaching us more about how to book TV characters and finishes. And he had great little comedic pieces with everybody, with Ted McNaylor and the Mobile Homers, and obviously Richard Cranium and the Nundertaker, and 6 More Weeks and all that stuff. So everybody got a chance to have an ongoing bit, and they would understand how to play that out. And then at episode 22, he was just kind of like, all right, I've done the battle royals. I've done what I want to do, and it's shaped up. You guys are here to do this. It's your time to fucking fly. And then he just wouldn't even show up for the shows. So you're like, fuck, like it's time to go. And Man Beast and Ted the Trailer McNair, Man Beast, Nick Beckham, Adam Revolver, and myself and Twinkle Toes when he was here and not in the UK, we'd be up till 3 a.m. having the best times of our lives.
The
filling
time of your fucking life.
How long did that last?
Notebooks, man. 50 episodes. And Danny's father had passed, and I was given, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to work with him in a booking capacity, but Roadkill was moving, I think.
You got 1 minute.
I was given that opportunity to help, and so was Revolver, to do OVW TV. So I have 120 episodes total of TV production, writing, directing under my belt.
Oh, really? I didn't know you. I don't even remember you doing that. You were doing OVW?
Well, that was after WWE had left.
Yeah.
So when it was all non-contract before Cornette came back, that it was me, So less than 1 minute. So we're going to come back. I can talk all day, infidels. That's right, morons. He's going to edit it together for real this time. And we'll come back part 2. Ben Hamin, Rip Rogers, Lilas Studios. Subscribe, smash the like button before I smash your moron face.
I'm not going to edit anything.
Fantastic. Greatest ever. Yo, Allah.
Record. We're back. God, I just want you to do everything now. You're going to give us a big, hey, we're back.
Yeah, that's right, infidels. ProWrestlingTees.com/Rip Rogers. Get the official gear over there. Go to Amazon.com right now. Get the book on pro wrestling. I don't know what you're waiting for. Open a new tab. Don't close this tab on YouTube, idiots. Go over and get this book. If you're a professional wrestler and you don't have it, the knowledge is right here. Everything you need to know about being a top heel, the psychology, tag team wrestling, how to sell. Get the book.
We need to hire this guy. Hey, now tell him to go subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to do the alert buttons, and I want you interacting as well. And here's another thing, Von Lilas. Start doing polls. Polls are very important in the YouTube algorithm, how to defeat the algorithm and get more subscribers. All Hamin Media Group members watching this right now, if you haven't subscribed, that's right, go over, smash the like button, get the alerts, because you don't want to miss any of these great interviews.
That's the Lilas Studios, Wrestling with Rip Rogers.
That's right.
On YouTube, baby.
That's
awesome.
Right.
We're back, Jack. Couple more things I wanted to talk about. One, you'd mentioned earlier, Pat Buck, baby.
Yeah, man.
How about Pat Buck quitting WWE to spend more time with his family and then going right to AEW? Is he the smartest man in the world, or what's going on there?
He's been in this game for a long time, bro. Absolutely seen it all, paid all the dues. And sometimes some guys aren't going to be able to live out the dream that they might have saw it a certain way, but then the door opens and you have an opportunity like he did to become a producer. And people are like, Pat Buck, who do you ever beat? Fuck that. Pat Buck put in the road miles, bro. And he created Creative Pro Wrestler. Which if you're a fan of MJF, you might want to check into what him and the Major Brothers do to train guys with the very knowledge that Rip gave us as well, man. So Buck maybe not making it up there as top shelf talent, but at the same time, a longer run that his body's not bumped out. And, he was on the road. He's got a newborn kid and he made some money to have that opportunity after doing 11 days straight. I mean, that's a lot to saddle the wife with, bro, a brand new newborn and all that. And when you can live in Florida and be Tony's right-hand guy and work 1-2 days a week, it's a no-brainer. You know what I mean? So
in reality, he is spending more time probably with his family with AEW.
Without a doubt, bro. I mean, they don't have a house show touring schedule that's nearly as much as what he would have to be on the road for that and TV. So taking the same education and, after the Iron Men split up, I managed Rob Conway. We beat the shit out of some guys together. He told me he loved me in the ring. So I'm going to try and parlay that into being AEW world champion. I think it's about time.
There you go, man. That's a good plan. He had to have had that lined up already, right? AEW, when he had to have.
Why not? Or the fact that Tony is hot for those. Can I get him right now? Is that going to be a little shocker internet wise? Yeah. There's value in that, even if you're an agent. And with as many matches as they got going on between Ring of Honor, YouTube, you need a guy like Pat Buck Where when we were doing DCW, it'd be like, all right, Beast, you agent this, Power, you agent that. I'm going to do this business. And then we'd all come back. You need people that you can trust to go and do that and get the vision across. And Buck's been doing that for 20 years.
Man, I mean, I've said on this show, I used to, well, if I could use the word make fun of, I ribbed Buck a little bit just with some of that stuff he was doing with Top Chef talent and the kick gimmick, the karate when he was the Karate Kid or whatever he was doing with the dummies. I think you were in on that with him or whatever. But man, talking about somebody like you said that is stuck with it, never quit, kept going, did his own shit, kept knocking on the door. I mean, kudos to him, man. He deserves everything he's gotten, in my opinion, anyway. You said if people do say who's he ever beat, I don't think that doesn't matter.
No.
I mean,
you're talking work ethic, bro.
Yeah.
And doing multiple. I've been fortunate. Maybe I should have switched out, but Ben Hamin has been Hamin. Buck has been 20 different things. You know what I mean? And there's fun doing offshoots from the Hitmaker to Top Shelf to Iron Buck or whatever it is. But yeah, man, and him taking himself seriously, we all kind of had to. Because if you showed weakness, that's what OVW trains you to do, is to get ready for WWE locker room. And if we got to play a little politics to do that and somebody's going to fuck up, well, you're learning the bigger lesson. So if he was doing that, it was to guard his own piece of the property. You being Rip's nephew, you didn't have to worry about all that shit. So like the rest of us had to be clicked up. Nobody wanted to fuck with a terrorist because you never know what was going down. But yeah, him taking it a little serious at the time versus what I'm sure his perspective is now. I mean, we all look at it way differently.
Give me some on Pat Buck working hard, Rip.
Well, look where he's at. And he didn't marry the boss's daughter. So he must have been doing something right.
Yeah.
Just keep knocking on the door. He was always in shape, always had good gear. And he never did stupid shit, which is a main thing of not getting hurt, because you're going to get hurt in this shit. You get hurt when you play slow pitch softball or fucking basketball or fucking flag football, you're going to get hurt. So in pro wrestling, you're definitely going to get hurt. And he survived it. He did his fucking time, and now he's a fucking boss, which is awesome. And it makes us look good because he was under, at one time, it looks like, fuck, I didn't teach him goddamn nothing. It was just, you guys are hanging out and they listen to me tell stories. Pops, did I ever teach you one fucking move?
Oh, no, but just how to get one thing really. Heels need heat and how to get vicious heat. I don't need no fucking moves, set.
Right.
You would teach some moves as far as making them look good. Think about just whipping somebody into the corner, into the buckle. You would teach spins and location and body placement and selling out outside the ring and not just sitting there staring the whole time and getting to the buckle and facing and then turning.
Yeah.
But you would teach turning back right when the guy is getting there to give you something. You taught all those are moves, I think.
No.
I'm not talking about like swan dives and shit. We're
doing swantons or moonsaults today.
Yeah.
We're doing it's never that. It'd be a high spot drill, so my tongue's hanging out, but you better know how to fucking throw a clean big boot. And if you can't do that, get the fuck out.
Or just think of the hip tosses. You taught us 3 different hip tosses, so they didn't all look the same.
Yeah, hip toss with a hype. Fucking right.
Yeah. I would consider those moves.
Yes, those are moves.
Well, I just thought it was just basics, and then
they are basics,
just throwing a little bit of how to make them not basics, but this makes it a whole lot better. But it's simple shit.
Yeah.
It's simple shit where I wasn't really. This is how you tie. Oh, it's like the tie up. As soon as I see that open hand like that, fuck you, get out.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not his nephew, right? You're just ribbing, right?
Yeah, of course I know.
People really think we're related. I remember Johnny Jeter.
That's the beauty of it, man. Like that, the relationship is there. You guys have known each other he's known you since you were a baby, dude. And so you are his nephew, you are his son. We're the sons of Rip, but you were probably the closest one.
Well, I remember Jeter thought we were really related. I don't think he was ribbing me. I mean, he came up to me at a show and he's like, "Now, are you guys? Is that your uncle or are you guys cousins? How are you guys related?" I said, "I'm not fucking related to him." He's like, "Yes, you have to be, right?" I said, "No, I'm just rotten," and he lets me wrestle. I mean, dude, when I went to Nick's class, I went to the show that night. I had been in one show or one class, and he put me in a 6-man with. I took Matt Morgan's powerbomb. It was his first day in as well, from Tough Enough. And it was Tomko, Bain, whatever his name was, Damaja, Conway, Matt Morgan, and somebody else. And they were like, "What can you do?" Like we're, in the back getting the match ready. What can you do? And I was like, "Today was my first practice." They were like, "Oh shit." But Rip, Rip,
I can do a Boston crab driver. You ever?
Yeah, there you go.
I'll put the heat down right here because I won't tell the other story. But where were we in your hometown? What, Charlestown, Indiana?
No, Seymour, baby.
I don't know if it was at Seymour or Charleston that we were running though. But it was Insurgency versus you, and I remember your sister and dad were there, and it was you and Dinsmore versus us. Do you remember that at all? Or no?
Yeah, there was 2 different shows. I don't know which one you're talking about. One was in Austin, Indiana, where my niece was there and had a sign that says like Von Lilas is my uncle, and like you said something to her to make her cry or something like that.
Yeah.
The other one was in Seymour. It was me and Nick against you guys when we ripped your shirt off at the end or whatever.
That's the heat. That's the heat we're talking about.
That was Seymour. That was in Seymour.
So yeah, like did you guys just call that on the fly, or was that a big plan to set me up? Because like the finish was come in, stunner on Ali, stunner on Khalil. And I feed in stunner on me. Instead of stunner happened. I come in, duck the flag, which should have been. I get double chicken wings. So I shoot chicken wing by Nick, so I can't move my arms. Lilas comes up, takes the top of my shirt, and just woof, buttons go flying. Fat man titties out everywhere in front of everybody, showing how white my chest is. Not about to be white. Wham! Overhand. Wham! Overhand. Backhand. 3 like devastators. I'm screaming, like screaming. Nick lets me go laughing. I run to the back to get to the shower, like put some water on my chest or something to cool it off. He lit me up so hard. Didn't call anything. Like I would have been fine with them chopping. They just totally went into business for themselves to rip me and fuck me up.
That just doesn't sound like me, Rip.
No, it doesn't.
No, especially my hometown. No, that doesn't sound like me at all, man. Are you sure? I don't. That just doesn't sound like something I would do at my hometown.
That's how I remember it. Do you remember it any differently? Maybe I missed a spot.
I'm sure that's. I don't know.
Maybe
if
it's probably my fault. Really, it probably.
No,
was.
I have no idea if we planned it or not. I'm sure Nick. I have no idea, but I remember it happening. It was awesome. I thought it was great.
It was great. But then once I had that, like that, I felt like that was my final initiation, and I knew that was death by fire. That's why I loved booking you in the beginner battle royal with those guys who were living their weekender dreams, but to get you over off of that with the chops and make you into the badass that you truly should be featured as, man. I did want to bring this point up. I know I can keep talking forever, but the other time I felt like I was kind of like, all right, your education here, you've hit it, is when we had built Lumpy Magoo to the level of taking no bumps, where I had stolen from the Three Stooges with inadvertent offense, like tie your shoe, bend over, give somebody a backdrop, turn around, clip him with that. Then he tagged with Grape Drink Connection, and for the first time drank the grape drink after we built these worlds. So in improv, we build these worlds, and in the third act, they collide. And in the middle is where the best stuff is between those characters, and the audience is with you because they totally believe in both worlds. So the first time Lumpy drank grape drink and gives a guy one slam and the place comes off their feet. Rip happened to be there at that payoff show, and he goes, "Holy fuck, Popsy, I never seen nothing like that before in my fucking life." And I remember that, dude. That was like getting down on one knee and having the fucking king kind of knight you a little bit. And I was like, I feel like I've accomplished what I came here to do in incorporating my vision of improv and wrestling together and getting a character over with as little violence as at all and as much entertainment. And the rest of us couldn't sell tickets because this motherfucker was selling 100 tickets because people wanted him in the main event every week. I knew we had something, and I knew that I kind of accomplished my mission at that point.
Hey, at least Rip watched something you did. That was good. You remember Lumpy Magoo, Rip?
I remember the name. I can't place who he is.
You can't remember. He had like a bow tie and like clown boots on almost. Like, weren't they like big red boots?
Yeah, big red boots. And he interviewed people and say the exact wrong thing. He talked like Mickey Mouse. And
real high.
He's one of the characters I've been proudest to help create and get over.
Oh, he was awesome, man. That was great.
He's gone. No one knows where he is. Like,
he just left. Didn't he just leave? Like,
he was like from Iowa or Idaho, and his name was Brent, but nobody, like, that's been the DCW lore. There's like $1,000 bounty on the head of Lumpy Magoo if anybody can find out who he really was. I think he got a chick back home pregnant or something maybe, and he bounced to go do the right thing and get the 9 to 5. But dude, I've never heard or seen of him on any indie show ever again. And he was one of the top draws at OVW for about 6-7 months.
I know, but did he leave like unannounced or not? Am I remembering that wrong?
I think he'd gone home. That's the and I could be making it up about the girl too. That's the story I had heard, that he had gone home for Christmas, got some fucking New Year's Eve pussy, and then fucking, came back and then found out and was like, I can't sit here and do the wrestling dream. Well,
hey, maybe he's a subscriber. Lumpy, if you're watching the show, baby, get in touch with us. Leave a comment, send an email, something. Let us know what's up.
One of my favorite characters ever in wrestling, bro.
Oh no, I thought no, he was awesome. I remember one time I gave him the back rake, but he really like bled. I did it bad or whatever, and that's when you couldn't have, like, there was a blood thing there, right, or something. Yeah. Oh, Danny was hot. I only got heat with Danny like twice, and that was one of them. Danny was so pissed after that match, but yeah, that was Lumpy. I think I ripped his shirt off or something and gave him a back rake or something. I can't remember. Doesn't sound like me either, but
probably you don't work stiff.
Anyway, hey, what I should have done to you is Rip. I had a match with my cousin who was also like a manager, but then I ended up having a match with him, and I did the same kind of thing to him, but I ripped all his chest hair out first. I should have done that.
You got mine, bro.
I literally just grabbed it and just started throwing it. It was awesome.
I did that to Brute Van Slyke at our last show. I grabbed it and I gave him the Scott Hall and threw it in his face.
Oh, even better. Hey, well, let's get to what's up now, man. I know you kind of did it in your big intro promo. You got a million things going on. You got the Channel Attitude. You got the Ben Hamin Network or Ben Hamin Group. You're doing this stuff with Russo. I see you doing stuff with girls all the time too. What's her name? I think what's her name's kind of a mainstay that used to be in OVW.
April Hunter.
April Hunter. What's the redhead chick from OVW? Don't you do stuff with her? Oh
yeah.
You should remember her name. She's in
Channel Attitude.
Hey, don't worry, I'll edit this out.
Yeah, it just added
So give me the lowdown on Russo, man. So Russo, I mean, people, he's kind of hot on the internet, especially with the cornet world, obviously. People love him, people don't like him. How'd you get involved with Russo, and how'd all that go down?
Yeah, King B and Vito were doing a show, and they had a falling out, and the spot came open, and Stevie Richards and him, had worked together in Impact and were good friends. And Stevie and I had already been working together based on the Conspiracy Horseman stuff we had done. And it just clicked instantly, man. And, I'd never met Vince before, but here's the weird, like when I believe in improv and this greater pattern that we're all in these constantly going circles. One of the things that sent me to OVW is I was on a show, late show at Improv Olympic, and Ed Ferrara was the guest. And I was doing a lucha spot on there and comedy thing. And we closed down the bar, and he told me to take this to wrestling. So to have Ed Ferrara be the catalyst that sent me to OVW to then, work with Vince Russo, it comes full circle in a weird way. And he and I have just become really great friends, and brought me out to Colorado to work Rocky Mountain Pro. And we do Master Shoot Theater on his Patreon, where I imitate Vince McMahon. He imitates Bruce Pritchard. It's been an awesome ride creatively and a lot of laughs and making money together, man. So I thank him for the rub and the legitimacy. And again, it's kind of like Pat Buck's thing. I remember saying, I want to be the Vince Russo of WWE. Well, WWE's fucked, but I get to, Vince Russo calls me a genius and I'm not trying to make myself over, he'll depreciate himself. I love his shit, but to gain the respect of the guy that you wanted to be and become a peer is a different accomplishment, you know what I mean? And I think it you might not have seen it how he wanted to be, but it might work out for the better the way it did.
So how do you get on the Master Shoot Theater? How do people watch that? I know you sent me like a clip or something. You told me not to share it. Maybe I shouldn't even say it on here, but how do people watch that? What's that on?
There's a couple out on YouTube for free in small clips, but it's on Russo TWC on his Patreon, patreon.com/Russo TWC. And I have some on patreon.com/Hamin Media Group, the animated ones. One of our great listeners, Mandir, an unbelievable artist, now takes them and turns them into 8-minute animations, which should be on Adult Swim. So we're always trying to break through and do things that are going to shake shit up. But when people like the $5 face slaps and the Master Shoot Theater should have way more views than they do because they're easily could go viral, any of them. So I don't know, Botchamania and them don't want to put it over or whatever, but I don't have time to wait around for fucking hangers on in the business, bro. I live this shit,
Wow. So you got people that work for you, Rib. We need some
dude.
People to get that $1.95 out so we can get some people.
Yeah, I got $1.95.
I'll say it right now, dude. Like I have an unbelievable staff, probably 6 or 7 producers, hosts, people editing, uploading, running the community and keeping engagement going. But I know there's a lot of Hamin Media Group listeners with great production skills. This is an opportunity for you to join Lilas Studios right now to do those thumbnails, to do that social media post, to get in within 1 degree of separation of HMG Russo brand Lilas Studios and help take this brand to where it should be to get those views. So if you're hungry to do something, this is the fucking opportunity to do it. Don't be a lazy motherfucker. Reach out in the comments right now on this video and say, hey, Big Von Daddy, I want to join the team and let's chop it up.
Hell yeah. You hear that, Rip?
Fuck, I'm Mr. Goddamn.
Rip's so excited he can't even hardly think right now. He's got a Band-Aid. He's got this boo-boo on his finger he's been messing with for 3 weeks.
Got the glove. He's got the OJ glove.
He got the glove off. Now he took the Band-Aid off. He's picking at his finger again.
Which I ain't supposed to do.
He's not supposed to do. He's getting worried about it.
That fucking hangnail, you make it go fuck up again. I'll get that fucking pussy ass.
So I don't ask tough questions. You can not answer anything you don't want. So you got a take on like the Russo Cornette feud? Do you care about it? Does it turn you off of Cornette? I mean, he was an OVW guy. You were an OVW guy. I don't mind either way. I listen to Cornette. I listen to you guys. It doesn't, to me, I don't give 2 shits, but I'm not really friends with either one of them. So I didn't know what your take on that was. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to.
I'll say exactly what I always would say. I say it to Vince. I'd say it to Jimmy. I've tried to reach out to be the bond in between.
I remember you did that a while back.
If you're a Jim Cornette guy, if you're a Rip Rogers guy, you're a Jim Cornette guy. It's the same fucking opinion. It's the same fucking training. It's the same Southern look at wrestling and psychology. I've got it. I am. But I've got this whole New York asshole mentality that, and I'm saying Russo is, but Southerners, like, it's like, it literally is North and South magnets, right? North and South. Like we just don't jive that, hey man, and these old school styles and versus New York. Now I'm smart. I'm quick, but I got Chicago mixed in. So I'm a weird conglomerate of that. But most of the time, Russo and Cornette are saying the exact same thing. One is just going, bro, this is what I think. And it's the bullshit, this, that, and the other. And they missed the business and they should have shot it this way. And over here, the other guy's going, what the fuck are you fucking doing? Yeah. You should have done it. Like it's so they hate each other, but sometimes that is the best creative to some degree. And I hated the Southern stuff that seeped into WWF in the 90s that was Cornette, the 90 to 93 gimmicks. And then being a teenager, the Vince Russo shock TV during the Jerry Springer and era and all that, of course we were going to fall in love with it. But once I'm in the business, I look at Cornette's stuff. How could I not love it? Especially as much as I've stolen from him being a manager, any manager that has, right? So it all comes back around from when you're a mark versus when you're in the biz. But if those guys, here's the thing. Are you going to change the opinion of 70-year-old men? Do you know a lot of 70-year-olds who fucking change the way they are?
No,
really? He's progressive. You can easily change his mind. Yeah.
No. That's
I don't
what I'm saying. No, I'm sitting right next to one. No,
right. So you got to treat him like toddlers sometime. And if he's going to keep crying and miss out on it, then that's fine. That's his choice. But the sit down of putting Vince Russo and Cornette is $100,000 in one night. If you want to stick to your guns to the day you die and take that anger because that's what you thrive on to your grave, assalamu alaikum, brother. Like, do what you got to do. But Russo, being the Christian man that he is, he might get tuned up and get the New York Italian blood boiling, but he doesn't feel that same way where he's constantly carrying that animosity. Like, I feel like Jimmy needs these stones around his neck for him to be who he is, to stay fired up, you know? And that's why we love him too. We love the shoot promo. We love the passion. That's all anger is an emotion, is passion, and it's just misdirected. So
hey, you hit it right on the head earlier when you said a lot of times they have the same opinion, because I just saw Russo tweet out, which actually made me watch it, and I sent it to Rip and had him watch it, that AEW close when that brawl they had or whatever. Did you watch that? Wednesday night when they all came out.
Yeah, it was you know,
they were punching each other like this.
And punches are terrible. And these guys are standing in the ring. And
they stood in the ring for 3 minutes waiting on it to go dark or whatever. I mean, did they just miss a cue or did they start
when they stood in the ring is the phoniest.
Yeah.
You don't ever stand straight up
for minutes.
You're not in a fighting position ready for anything. Right. You're standing straight up like, this is as phony as I can get.
Yeah, it was awful.
And
you got to understand, like, I'm not trying to stick up for it. Here's the difference between how we look at everything and what they did. He wanted it to be the Jerry Bruckheimer movie where the two epic warriors stand there locked in, while around them is a whirlwind of chaos and everything else going on. Meanwhile, the chaos is phony ass punches, popcorn spots. The camera's got to cut, so you're never really having your focus on what it needs to be focused on. So everything's going to shit. But on paper, in his mind, it was this big anime fucking ending that these guys with replica belts who think they know how to book to do best business and what's going to sell pay-per-view, and then the execution of it doesn't meet that. You're just like, and you're trying to apply it through the old wrestling rules. It just looks like shit, bro.
That stare down was so long and so
they might as well start making out.
They couldn't. I mean, and I looked at Moxley a couple times. It looked like he was looking to see if the light had went, like the camera was finally off. He kept glancing up, like, is this thing ever going to end? But I saw Russo basically tweet and shit on it, and then Cornette's going to shit on it. So just to your point, they're going to totally agree on that.
Hey,
absolutely.
I mean,
today, Vaughn Lilas texts me. 10:37 a.m. Try to watch this, all of this. Like a dumbass, I watched it all. And I put fucking rotten, totally rotten. Then he puts, how about that 3-minute stare down waiting on the cameras to stop rolling? I said, don't get me started. Weakest strong style punches I've ever seen by the others. And I put, I'm puking.
Yeah.
And that was, what can I say?
And that was the third finish of a segment with run-ins. So
they played that. I didn't watch any other
times on the show. Yeah, dude. Wow. Like, so not only was it badly executed, we'd already seen it twice.
Oh, wow.
So, like, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Here's where we go putting heat on Mark Henry. That's right, Mark. I was overjoyed when you got signed and you said the words, I'm going to bring Rip Rogers mentality and style to AEW, bro. And I know Rip will also say, oh, is the paycheck clear? And this is where Rip and I, probably the only place where I deviate from my master. And as long as the paycheck clears, you shut the fuck up and keep going. That's short-term money, in my opinion. If you truly love this business and you want it to flourish and create great characters and great opportunities, we need to speak up in the face of I don't want to say ignorance, but someone who hasn't been trained to do this, someone who hasn't paid their dues to do this, and who's just the money guy. Because when you don't and you collect your check, you get segments like that leave people scoffing. When that happens, that shortens the life of how long AEW might be alive. So you might only have a paycheck for a year, as opposed to being like, put the fucking giant hand on his shoulder. Buddy, come here. I see what you're trying to do. Let me punch it up for you and give him the lesson, the knowledge that he needs. Now the company might last for 5 years and you'll be there. So there's a point of going along to getting along because we're going to bleed this guy dry. You're going to bleed him dry in 18 months because the products are shit because you didn't stand up and give him the knowledge to then have something better that everyone can buy into where there's no holes in it. So I want someone to go, you stupid motherfucker, that ain't how you do this fucking shit. But nobody, dude, he's surrounded by Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, fucking Jerry Lynn, Christian, Mark Henry, Big Show. The list goes on and on. I could name of legends who could run that 100 different ways. William Regal. How is business like that getting on TV with guys who have the same knowledge as our master does? And they're out on the mic putting over Jim Ross as well, dude. Like to have to sit Taz, you can keep going.
I've said the same thing. Go ahead, Rick.
Why is nobody saying stop? Let's write the best show possible.
Okay, now it's like I always said, hire Cornette, let him talk with Tony on everything. Say this is why it's the shits now, the shits for next week, and the shits for next goddamn year. But I've expressed all that to you, but it's your money and you do what you want to do. But I'm telling you, that's fucking rotten. That's fucking rotten. And that's fucking rotten. You're killing the fucking business. You can't fucking do that and survive. What did they draw? Was it last week? 300,000 or something like that?
330,000. Yes.
Okay. And then when you keep getting WWE, not rejects, but WWE guys that have been overexposed for 10 years to begin with, they've seen their act. They have seen their act because when they're on TV, it's the same song, the same move set, the same old fucking shit.
Well, the opportunity is for them to come in, especially while WWE is weak right now, and bang, bang. But instead, everybody just wants to collect a check and fucking keep the door open. So if they jump back to WWE like Cody did, it's fine. And we didn't rock the boat too much instead of fucking really going in like they need to, bro. I
agree totally with what you're saying. I guess the only least unknown possibly is maybe some people have tried. And Tony is ultimately the final say of everything. Maybe
how's that working out for him then?
Well, I agree, but I'm just saying.
So if he's a numbers guy and he's rejecting the 30 years, 40 years, 50 years of knowledge to do the anime thing for a micro demographic of New Japan fans that want some epic fucking anime ending that doesn't get pulled off, as opposed to heels get heat, make your baby off of your heel. We got to need a cliffhanger, show don't tell at the end. Like they try to do show don't tell, but that's something that needs to be pre-taped. If you're trying to do all that kind of shit, it's got to be an epic movie. It just didn't work, bro.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
But all those guys, all those old timers, all those dudes with the fucking tons of knowledge, nobody's stepping up. I was pumped when Mark said that, and I haven't seen one.
I didn't even know he said it. Did you know he said that?
He got heat for it.
Yeah.
Oh, he did get heat for it?
Yeah.
Did he really? Oh, that's awesome.
So
but I was banned from there, so you know. So
why?
I got banned when they shorted Flash Flanagan and Dylan on fucking money, and I called them out on it.
Sure, you can spend all the money, but don't expose it. We're not carnies, but when we do carny shit, don't say anything about it. You know what I mean? Like do as this. If you want to talk about the New Japan thing, they act like they're all socially conscious, right? We've got transsexuals and we are in cancel culture. Meanwhile, New Japan gets fucking busted with young boys grooming to get a push and expose that they're funded by the Yakuza, the mafia, which people already knew. But now you're going to pick and choose your moral standing ground based on the fact that you got a pay-per-view, that's as carny as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, so you can't hold some moral high ground to ban Rip Rogers or cancel a Jimmy Havoc. And then, but this guy's push is too strong and we got business to do. So we'll push our morality aside. Like, that's just straight up hypocrisy and exposes you as like, you might have this mission statement, but wrestling's wrestling and carny's going to carny, bro. You know,
this might hurt your run of being the AEW champion, man.
Who's the AEW champion?
I thought, didn't you say earlier you were going to have Pat Buck get you in there as the AEW
Oh, yeah.
champion?
Well, they finally need some integrity in the product, dude. You know, like somebody who's going to go out there and say what needs to be said. Because I'd be fired from there or WWE because I cannot, as you guys have heard, sit there and yes, man, in the face of shit, creative and ideas when you could easily punch something up and put heat on a heel.
Well, it's always nice to make a partial electric bill payment, you know.
But I'll make my own money, bro. Like that's the confidence I have in myself of like go along to get along and stroke somebody's ego who's killing the art form that I love, or apply the craft that I paid my dues 10 times over for and know when I'm right and what hill I'm going to die on. I'm not going to fucking, you know, be like that idea for the 24/7 title sucks, but I stand firm on it. But if there's something where we're missing completely, time out.
Hey, listen, Rip can say the check don't bounce, but Rip didn't play nice. He's been fired a couple times from WWE. I mean, come on.
Sure. Yeah.
Rip's always a do as I say, not as I do guy.
Yeah, rules for thee, not for me.
True, Rip. Come on.
What are you getting at?
I'm getting at you're always
he's
like,
an outlaw.
hey.
You wanted to say fuck you with with Randy, and you guys did your own thing. You got the rebel spirit in you, man, and I'm the same way. And that's the thing. It don't matter if it's Cornette wanting to say fuck you. No, you're stupid. You're doing it wrong. Rip saying it, or me and Russo saying it. It's for the passion and the love of doing things at the highest level and getting the biggest reaction and making something for the crowd. Everything else is just all this self-indulgent bullshit, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Like you were never just check no bounce. I'm just going to sit here and.
Oh no, I was fucking.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I pushed these motherfuckers to get fucking good.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. You're not always just a yes sir, no sir type of guy. No, you tell everybody else to be.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I also got to mention, not to leave out of the huge education, the guy who did business for us in DCW, sitting next to Al Snow at every OVW house show and having him ask me a question, me answering it wrong, him rolling his eyes and then giving the right answer was a huge part of my education. So train with Rip, get called a fat cocksucker, you lazy bastard, train harder, stop shoving shit in your mouth, get blown up. Learn creative, and then Al has you on the road. It was a great education from both of them, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was gone before too much of Al stuff. I didn't do much with Al till he had that, whatever that was, thousands.
Never got to work with Cornette. Like Cornette slapped Santino was gone. I show up and fucking I leave. Cornette comes back. So we've always been two ships passing him.
Yeah, I was never much with Cornette either. Just a little bit. I mean, nothing too much directly. I was just in sweeping floors and sitting in the crowd and not much with Jimmy. I was there when he was there for a little bit of TV, but I wasn't really doing anything.
Hey, here's a quick Cornette story. This is funnier than shit.
You got 2 minutes, 37 seconds.
I'm sitting at home in fucking Seymour, and Jimmy says, can you do squats for an hour? I said, call me back in an hour and 10 minutes. He called me back in an hour and 10 minutes. He said, well, about them squats. I said, yeah. He says, can you do them? I said, yeah. He goes, how do you know? I said, I just did the son of a bitches. He goes, oh, okay. So then we did it on the show,
Oh, that was Smoky Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait for him. I can't wait for him to come on here, man. That's going to be a banger episode. I love the shoot you guys had in Ring at OVW. One of my favorite sit downs ever.
Which one was that?
Him ripping Jimmy in Ring at OVW.
Yep.
Now I can't remember, Hey, Pops, you got to plug us on the goddamn Hamin network. So see if we get more than 800. Well, we got 800.
Oh, you did. Do it.
I think you've already
823. And somebody I guess they dissubscribed or whatever that word. They unsubscribed,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden we had one less. And some motherfucker got us. They fucking ribbed us.
Yeah. Definitely. I know there's a lot of crossover from Hamin Media Group and Russo brand that has subscribed. But guys, share these videos. I've run my fucking big fat mouth longer than anybody else has. So I'm taking the new record. So let's get my numbers up above so I can look better than Killer Cross, Damian Sandow, Mike Mondo, and they can know I'm a real big star.
All right. We got 1 minute. Hey, thanks a lot for coming on, man. Really appreciate it. We went a long time. This is Max Payne territory, man. This longest interview we've done. So I might chop this up into 2 parts, but it was great catching up. I mean, that's what we really do, man. We just kind of catch up, tell stories, talk about the old times, and see what you're doing now. So we had a blast.
It's so great. It's so great sitting here, just fucking listening to fucking you guys telling those fucking stories. Yeah, plug my goddamn book.
That's right. Go to Amazon right now. If you need a new stove, Von Lilas will come over and piss in yours, and you can go get a new one. It'll be a good time.
I've only allegedly pissed in one stove, man. And that was yours. And we really have never proven that I did that. So
shout out to Twinkle Toes. Shout out to the Core, Serena, Timmy Baltimore, Jamin Olavencia, the Mobile Homers, all the Susio, Paradise, all my OVW family, man. Love you guys, and I wouldn't be anything without all you guys' support. We did it together.
Hell yeah.
Greatest time of your life.
That's
Fantastic.
right. All of them.
Greatest ever. Don't get any better than that.
That's it. See you, man. Thank you.
Far above them mentally with mental gymnastics. As far as the wrestling business, what I did was I intimidated a lot of people because I didn't give a fuck.